Click on the news. You're gonna want to see this.
Just want to know where you've been hiding.
What is it going to take to finally get rid of him?
The person behind this is going to be brought to justice. What the hell just happened? I blame you more than I blame Danny.
General Hospital latest update. Tensions erupt as Lulu races to expose Joe's past, just as Dante threatens him, and the nurse's ball becomes ground zero for a stunning paternity bombshell. Secrets, betrayal, and chaos are about to rock Port Charles. Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. After watching these videos, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. General Hospital spoilers. Gio's secret exposed at nurse's ball. Lulu finally reveals Brook, Lynn and Dante's son. General Hospital spoilers hint that the Gio Palmieri secret may be exposed at the nurse's ball. Is that when Lulu Spencer will finally reveal Brook, Lynn Quartermain and Dante Falconeri's son? The story is really picking up steam now that Dante has blown up at Gio over Rocco Falconeri's recent medical ordeal. Dante unfairly blamed Gio for Rocco's alcohol poisoning and was way too harsh with him. Of course, every soap fan knows that before a big reveal involving a long-lost child, there has to be conflict. There'd be no drama if Gio and Dante were getting along just fine when the secret of his identity came out. Now that General Hospital writers have established some hostility and have given Lulu a few more clues to follow up on, it definitely feels like the shocking Gio reveal is coming up soon. Lulu clearly has a hunch that Gio is the son Brook Lynn gave up for adoption, which is why she's decided to look into where Lois Cirulo was when Gio was born. Joe's birth supposedly happened in Los Angeles, but that's a lie since Brook Lynn confirmed she had her baby in San Francisco. Once Lulu goes digging, she's bound to follow this California trail and click any remaining puzzle pieces into place. Lulu may end up feeling confident that Lois took Brook Lynn's baby and handed him off to Camilla, the woman who adopted Gio and became the only mother he ever knew. After Lulu realizes Brook Lynn and Dante are Joe's biological parents, she may not be able to hold her tongue any longer. Major drama always happens backstage at the nurse's ball, so that may be when this revelation comes to light. It's easy to imagine Dante stumbling upon another confrontation between Brook Lynn and Lulu, which could end with Lulu blurting out the truth to the both of them. Dante will have a lot to process since he never even knew about Brook Lynn's pregnancy. It'll be hard for Dante to wrap his head around the fact that he's got another son, especially one he just berated and threatened to have arrested. As for Brook Lynn, she'll think back on all the special moments she's shared with Gio and the connection they have. That connection may suddenly make sense to Brook Lynn, who might wander out front to tearfully watch Joe's nurse's ball performance. Brook Lynn may see Gio with fresh eyes and watch him as his loving mother in that moment. Bottom line, Lulu is on the verge of confirming her Gio suspicions, and the nurse's ball is set to kick off starting May 20th. The timing definitely fits for a Gio nurse's ball shocker, so we'll bring you updates on all Lulu's predictions leading up to the stunning news ahead. General Hospital spoilers say the nurse's ball will bring some conflict and chaos no matter what. Today's next update, Dante threatens Jason over what happened to Rocco, and, spoiler, leaves Port Charles. Today on General Hospital, Willow stands by Drew. Drew continues to blackmail Portia, and Sidwell and Jordan pay Sonny a visit. From her office, Portia calls Nina, who is at the Metro Court, and tells her to turn on the news. Nina opens up her tablet and finds Drew holding a press conference, explaining he was drugged. Tracy walks by Nina and says, "You aren't really watching that jackass." Jordan arrives and runs into Curtis, and they also talk about Drew's press conference and if he can bounce back from this. Nina continues to watch as Drew insists that he will stop at nothing to clear his name, and Willow joins him on camera. Nina and Curtis commiserate. Curtis soon joins Nina at the bar, and she vents about Drew's press conference and Willow supporting her man. Nina yells that it wasn't supposed to be like this. Curtis asks what she means, and she covers by saying her daughter should have more self-respect than to make peace with Drew and trust him. She says Willow caught Drew and the prostitute in their own home, and she wonders what it will take for Willow to get rid of that man. Curtis says Drew published his results online, and he had ketamine in his system. Nina thinks he wouldn't be the first politician to use the drug, but Curtis knows the guy, and he barely drinks, let alone would do drugs. Curtis wouldn't be surprised if one of his many enemies set him up. A meeting to take down Sonny. At a nearby table, Tracy sits down with Jordan, Sidwell and Marco to discuss how Drew's faceplant will affect their plan to rid the town of Sonny. Sidwell believes his constituents will forgive him, and Jordan hopes it blows over when the next big scandal breaks. Tracy is still focused on getting rid of Sonny rather than their esplanade, and Marco tells her, "That won't happen until you get serious." Marco says his research shows the common man in Port Charles loves Sonny. He's a man who built himself up from nothing and has done a lot for the city. Right now, they are running a faceless campaign against a very public figure who is charming. Sidwell says they need some charisma of their own. Drew shows up on cue and says he'll be their charisma. Tracy thought he'd be off clubbing in Ibiza by now. Drew says he was a victim of a crime, and the woman he was with is now a person of interest. Tracy jokes about the old-fashioned drink he downed before his party, shocking Jordan that she was with Drew that night. Drew swears he was a victim of a crime and will prove it, and make sure that whoever did this to him will pay. He insists he'll be exonerated and shows her a photo of him and Willow, saying he has the woman he loves by his side. Tracy thought Willow couldn't sink any lower. He takes off to do other work, and Tracy says that man has a lot of hubris. Jordan believes that's just what they need. Jordan says the public loves a comeback story, and if Drew can pull this off, he might drum up support for the esplanade. Sidwell says he and Jordan have more business to attend to and must leave. Left alone, Tracy tells Marco she wasn't keen on working with his father, but if he can rid this town of Sonny, all of Port Charles will be open to him. Back at the bar, Nina and Curtis noticed Sidwell's table and that everyone at it wants to take down Sonny. Nina says, despite everything, she's still Team Sonny. She asks where he stands with his ex and Sonny in all of this. Curtis feels Jordan chose the wrong side, and he and Aurora will support Laura, which by default means they are backing Sonny. Brad makes big moves. At the hospital, Liz is mobile and on crutches and chats with Lucas. She's not back to work but wanted to check on things. Brad arrives in a swanky suit, leaving Liz and Lucas puzzled. Lucas tells him, that is a look. Brad explains he's making changes and new choices, including leaving town. He has to check in with HR and walks off, leaving Lucas wondering what just happened. Brad heads to see Portia and hands in his letter of resignation. She tells him that if he quits, he won't get his job back, and no more blackmailing her. Brad says blackmailing isn't in his future, but it is in hers. He walks out. Sasha has a chat with Danny. At the Quartermain mansion, Sasha puts Danny to work helping her clean up the kitchen. Danny asks if they will pretend she doesn't know about Rocco. Sasha knows but feels he probably doesn't need another lecture. Danny says he feels like a jerk over what happened. Sasha says if he didn't, then he'd really be a jerk. She hopes he learns from this and says kids his age make mistakes. She says making a mistake doesn't make him a bad person. Dante blames Jason. At Sonny's, he and Jason are back, and Isaiah gives him a checkup. Dante arrives and is fuming mad. He tells Jason that Danny almost got Rocco killed last night. Sonny asks what he's talking about, and Jason says he got a text from Danny but hasn't talked to him yet. Dante tells them what happened, and that he blames Jason more than he blames Danny, as he doesn't supervise his kid enough. Jason takes off, and Isaiah asks Dante not to do anything to set his father back after his surgery. Isaiah heads out, and Sonny is glad to hear Lulu is taking care of Rocco and he'll be okay. He asks his son if he will be okay. Dante admits he hasn't been that scared in his entire life. Sonny thought he was taking the boys to a game, but Dante explains that he got wrapped up in Brook Lynn's drama and cancelled their plans. He should have known they needed supervising, and while Danny's a great kid, he's reckless. Sam used to be the one who set boundaries for him. He doesn't think Jason does that, so he has to make sure Rocco doesn't hang out with Danny anymore. He also talks about Gio, whom he can't trust, and who made things worse. Dante rants about Joe's poor choices, and Sonny defends the boy. He says kids at Joe's age don't know how to recognize alcohol poisoning. Dante tells his dad to stop, as he sounds like Lois. Sonny understands Dante is looking for someone to blame, but kids make mistakes. He also says you can't protect your kids 100% of the time. Dante thinks he could have lost his son, and if it happened, he couldn't take it. Jason has a talk with Danny. Back at the Quartermaines, Sasha tells Danny that apologizing and making amends for his mistake is one thing, but he must be better moving forward. She says, or you could look at this as dodging a bullet and pretending nothing happened. Which will it be? Danny won't forget this lesson, and she tells him he'll eventually be tempted again and have to make better choices. She thinks he'll learn from this, and hopefully he'll be around to teach her baby some of the things he's learned. Jason appears and listens in the background. Jason eventually enters and tells his son he got his text and asks what is going on. Sasha exits, and Danny tells him what happened with Rocco and that it's all his fault. Jason asks if he was drinking, and Danny says very little. Danny admits he left Rocco alone, and his brother didn't even want to go to the party. He didn't know he was drinking and would have stopped him if he had known. Jason tells Danny he let this get out of control, and it can never happen again. Danny promises it won't. Jason tells him that he has to take responsibility and make things right with Rocco. He's given him a lot of freedom to make his own choices, hopefully good ones, but he is still responsible for him. Jason says that moving forward, they will check in with each other every night at 9. Jason trusts his son and knows he'll learn from this and will do better. Jason tells Danny that his brother, AJ, started drinking when he was Danny's age. It cost him and this family so much, and he doesn't want that for him. He tells his son to learn from this and not to do it again. Dante enters, and Danny faces him and tells him that he's sorry for everything. Dante knows. Jason asks Danny to give him and Dante a minute, so he leaves. Jason says Danny understands he made a mistake, and it won't happen again. Dante asks what he will do to make his kid understand the consequences of his actions. Just talking to him isn't enough. Dante says he could charge Danny as an accessory to attempted manslaughter. Brad says goodbye. But first, at the hospital, Willow appears and talks with Liz for a bit. She gets paged by Portia and heads off. Isaiah arrives, and Liz is happy to see him and wonders where he's been hiding. She points out that he's flaked on her and Lucky for dinner 3 times now. She and Lucky think he's been spending time with a mystery woman. Isaiah says if he hypothetically was, that person chose their job over him. Liz suggests he hypothetically not give up on that person. Willow arrives to see Portia in her office. Portia explains she was at the Savoy when everything went down and wanted to see how she was holding up. Willow says she is fine and defends Drew, saying he was set up and will prove it. Portia speaks to Willow as a friend and understands she wants to be loyal to Drew, especially after all they've been through. When making decisions about Drew, Portia advises keeping her eyes open. Willow appreciates her concern but is secure in her choices. She thanks Portia and departs. Willow runs into Isaiah and assumes he's going to lecture her, too. He's not, and says if she believes in Drew, then he'll trust her. Willow knows it's not enough for her to believe him. She needs a judge to believe Drew, too. Otherwise, this could be bad for her divorce, and she could lose her kids. Liz and Lucas gossip about Portia and Brad. They wonder if Brad is done blackmailing Portia, if he's leaving town. Perhaps he'll take his blackmail with him when he goes. Drew arrives and meets Brad. Drew asks if he has what he needs. Brad does, but thinks he should take down Portia right now. Drew will take her down, but on his own timetable, and there will be plenty of destruction to go around. Drew then heads to see Portia and asks why he hasn't heard from her, as she was supposed to keep him in the loop about Curtis and his headlines. She insists she can't control Curtis. Drew yells that he is not done with her, that he's not backing away from this scandal and leaving town. He orders her to force Curtis to give him favorable coverage, or he'll blow up her world. He also wants her to get Curtis to support Ezra for mayor, laughing that Curtis will help him take down Sonny. Brad heads to the elevator while many watch. Lucas asks if he's really leaving. Brad says he has no reason to stay here. Lucas believes a fresh start will be good for them both. Brad gloats that the whole world is open to him now, including hot models. He steps into the elevator, and Lucas and Brad wish each other luck. Lucas is clearly affected by Brad's departure. In the final moments, Jordan and Sidwell arrive to see Sonny at his place for a moment of his time. Sidwell says he has an opportunity for him that he feels he'll like. On the next General Hospital, Jason fumes over Dante threatening to charge Danny. Lulu has a talk with Danny, and Sidwell wants to make a deal with Sonny. Thanks for watching, General Hospital fans. If you're loving the drama in Port Charles, smash that like button, drop your theories in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe. More explosive updates are coming soon.